Hey guys, Heavyleomon here with my fifth place Evo Cup deck of Heavyleomon. So funny thing, yeah, no, it's not a top four deck sadly, but we did get pretty close. It was off by like a .1 percentage, which is pretty crazy. That's on like the weird thing about Bandai's like TCG Plus app is super weird. It's just any person you play against, they always take into basically take into effect like their scores as well. So if you play against people that are lower in the listing basically or the rankings, your score does go down sadly. But I mean, better than my other Evo Cup, which I only went I think seventh with Devas, which was it wasn't really that great. I went 2-2. This one is basically the one that I went actually positive, where I went 2-1. We ended up having only 3 rounds in total because somebody who got paired down basically lost, sadly, which, yeah, that's just how it works with the app. That basically made it so we only had 3 rounds instead of four. But even if we did have a fourth, it wouldn't have really happened because we were running out of time to basically till the store's closing. But yeah, no, I ended up bringing Heavy Leo, and honestly, it was really crazy. I basically just reworked the deck from the previous build and then added in 2 new things. I increased the ratios of certain Digimon so that way I could see them more consistently because in my previous build, I did have some issues seeing them sometimes. So that's just how it is. Anyway, let's actually get into the deck so I can show you what we've done with the deck. Being Leomon, I mean, the main thing you're trying to do is to go into the level 6. So for the eggs, we are running the 4 foil Fremon. Fremon is really solid. That's honestly why I maxed him out, because the fact that when it's a Leomon and it swings, it gets a draw. So that means if you go up into the level 4, you're guaranteed to get a swing even if you don't Evo into the level 5. So I just like running this because it's so good and it gets you that extra draw that can potentially draw you into the level 5. So solid egg, can't get rid of it. It's really powerful. Then for rookies, we're running 12. We're running 4 of the Leomon because this guy lets us look at our security, so we kind of know what's going down with that, and we get to grab a card from there and heal. And of course, it's inherent on deletion, gives minus 2,000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon until the end of their turn. So potentially you can combo that with the level 5 coming back with Fortitude to basically DP minus something dead. So pretty cool. Then we run 4 of the Elecmon. This one, instead of searching security, it of course searches your top 5 cards from your deck, and then you get to grab anything of Leomon and then bottom deck. And its inherit is also non-deletion, but instead of DP minus, it does de-digivolving, which is actually pretty strong because if you can stack this with the other level 4 that basically de-digivolve, and you go into Heavy Leo and it dies somehow, you're basically de-digivolving them by 3 by just dying, and then you get to basically remove them in the process. So it's pretty solid. You have to run 4 of both of these because they are crucial rookies for the deck. Then we run 2 Pomumons, mainly because we are still seeing in my locals a lot of decks that like to play Digimon by effects. So this is basically there to stop them from doing that, and they basically are forced to basically get rid of it. But yeah, no, Pomomon is just basically there to kind of stop them from basically doing a lot of their plays, especially because despite the fact there is a second Numon player finally at my locals, so now I kind of have to watch out for that. So this card will be crucial in dealing with that. Then we have 2 Terriermons. This is also to stop decks that like to gain a lot of memory, which Numamon and like several other decks do. So I do like running at least 2 of these to stop them. This did actually stop Mirage for a bit, so I'm hoping once we get the new support for this deck, we could potentially figure out a way to counter Mirage, but even then Mirage is still pretty busted. But yeah, we run these to kind of just stop memory gaining. And yeah, we run the 12 rookies, as you can see. That way we see them consistently. And even if you don't see either of the Elecmon or Lilomons, you can always evolve on the Pomu or Terrier. You do lose out on an Inherit, but that's fine because at least you get to build up a line. Then with level 4s, we of course run 4 of the Leomons from these, from EX5 as well. This one can evolve on either of these. The fact that when attacking, it can just Digivolve for a cost of 2 is really solid. And then its Inherit is also the D-Digivolve, so you can, basically get to D-Digivolve stuff when it dies, which most likely it will when swinging into security. Then we run 4 of the Leomon. This one is basically the exact same as this, except that it's, you know, basically yellow and green instead of black and green, but they both basically do the exact same thing. The only difference between them is their inherits, which is this one's for DP minusing, which is 2000. It may seem very small, but when you stack it along with this and the DP minus from the Loader Leo, you're basically getting a minus 7,000, which can potentially help you bottom deck stuff. And this deck does also run Bancho, so you're basically doing minus 11,000 to their guy once you finish it off, which is really crazy. Then the last two is the Leomon. This one, during the whole tournament, I never really used this guy. He doesn't really feel good to go into, honestly. Like, yes, there are certain situations where you really want this guy to kind of basically skip into the heavy Leo, but I don't. I literally had no moment where I really needed this, and its inherent isn't really honestly that great either. It just basically says while this Digimon has Leo in its name, it gets plus 2,000. So, I mean, it's good that it gets that plus 2,000, but it's only a your turn effect, and this effect only comes up in very, and I mean this very specific situations. So most likely, once BT16 hits, I will be replacing this with Mad Leo, because Mad Leo just does way more. And even better is that we will be getting a promo Leomon X that helps us heal, and it has Fortitude, so I honestly would rather have that, because it's way better. But yeah, eventually we will be cutting this, but I did end up running these two because I just needed another Leomon to run, and it was, as I said, it only came up, like, it didn't really come up, so it's just there. But yeah, that's basically all the level 4s we run. We run exactly 10, so we see them consistently, and as I mentioned, these will be getting replaced soon. For level 5s, we only run the 8, which is just basically 2 of them. 4 of the Loader Leo. Loader Leo is really cool. The fact that it's on that its main effect is on play and when digivolving means you could just hard play this somehow and pass turn. I actually had a match where I just basically hard play this, and I ended up removing an entire like board with it, so it's pretty crazy. On play, you get to just DP minus 3,000 until the end of their turn, and the same with when digivolving. And then on the opponent's turn, this basically makes your guy a blocker if he's unsuspended, so honestly, not too bad. And of course, he's a 7 cost, so potentially with a specific level 6 that you do run in this deck, you can play him out for free, basically. So, pretty solid. Then we run 4 of the Grap Leo. Grap Leo is really strong, too. On play and when Digimon, he just returns a 4,000 DP or less Digimon to the bottom of the deck. With the DP reduction from the other stuff, you can basically hurt them. So, basically, how I usually did it was I would do the Leomon plus the Leah, and then swing and evolve into this. And when it dies, the guy would basically get minus down to 6,000, or to something below 4,000, like 3 or 2. And then I would just, and because of Fortitude, I just on play just play this back, and I just bounce it to the bottom of the deck. So it's really strong. Same with this one. This also has Fortitude, so it comes back if it dies. So pretty strong. The only thing that really honestly stops Fortitude is bouncing. So basically Mirage. And potentially in the future, Blue Hybrid. But yeah, this is just really strong. It's so good. And yeah, that's basically all level 5s we run. For level 6s, obviously we are running the boy himself that makes the deck go. The 4 heavy Leos. I managed to fully AA this deck finally, so pretty cool. I love his art here. It just looks amazing. His effects are just insane. On play, or no, there's no on plays. Obviously it has Fortitude. It can digivolve on top of level 5 for 4 cost. And then, you know, when digivolving on deletion, it does a D-Digivolve, and then basically it returns anything with 6,000. So if you already DP minused with that, or, you know, with the stack after it died, you can basically just go, oh, I'm going to evolve it on top of level 5, and then you go, okay, so it's at the bottom of the deck now, sorry. And then the best part is that it also does it on deletion, the Digivolve, so you can potentially make them go, basically they evolve to get rid of this, and then they go, oh, okay, I have to do it again. So you basically make them waste more memory. And then the cool part about him is the end of attack and once per turn effect, which is really cool. Basically, you return one of your either you return one of your opponent's 4,000 DP or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. If you didn't, you get to unsuspend. So you basically get an extra check with this guy, and this guy is really chunky. If you really want to, you can potentially fit in Zubagon punches into this deck, and you can boost him up and just do like 4 checks at like 16. It's insane. Like you can just go off with the Zubagon punch. Plus with that, it also gives him reboot. So if he survives both attacks, he's just gonna be a big blocker with just it's just insane. Like, I love how that works. And even better is that you can actually tuck an X antibody underneath him, and it makes it so that he still has a source. So Fortitude will always trigger. So pretty cool. I love this guy. He's really amazing. He literally bottom decked so many guys tonight. It was great. Then, of course, we run 2 of the Bancho. Bancho, just really all around really strong guy. Does a lot of great work. I actually did a few test matches against my friend before the tournament against Blue Flare. This guy basically shuts down Blue Flare. Like, it is insane how crazy this card is against like decks like that have like small guys but they rush. Anytime when they suspend, they get -4,000 and a security minus, which just hurts a lot of decks. And the best part is that it's a all turns once per turn effect. So this thing triggers on play and when digivolving, the suspension part. So basically, when digivolving, you suspend them, and then they immediately get the -4,000 in security minus until the end of their turn. And then if they try to swing with the guy when it's if it's still alive and they try to swing, it's getting another -4,000. So it's getting minus by 8,000, and it's getting 2 security minuses. So it's insane that you can combo this on your turn and then pass it over to their turn and still hurt them in the process. It's so good. So you have to run 2. This guy is amazing. And of course, his other effect is really cheeky. When this card would be played from the hand, if there's 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stacks, you can reduce the play cost by 5, so it becomes a 7 cost. And then with a level 6 that I'm about to show you, you can basically play this for free in the process. So really cool. For the last level 6, we run Leopard X. Leopard X is honestly really clutch in this deck. The fact that his main effect is a when digivolving once per turn and a main effect at the same time, you can basically chill and you can basically do it on your main phase, which is really cool. Basically, you can reduce the cost of playing a green Digimon by 4 by default. But then if you have the X antibody or Leopardmon underneath this, you basically get to do it, but at a cost of basically neg 7. So basically, this becomes a free cost if your security is low, and you get to hard play this, suspend something, minus DP on it, and then you swing with like the leopard and hurt them, which is really cool. And then, of course, whenever you play a Digimon, you can bounce something 5,000 DP or lower to the hand. But for every Digimon on the board, you add a plus 3,000. So once you play down one guy, it's 8,000. Next time, it's 11,000. So it's really strong. Or if you already have a guy on board and you just play this out somehow, you're going to just go off. Or with a second stat, you basically just pop off and they can't basically do anything to you at that point. That's all the level 6s we run for the deck. For level 7s, we only run 2, but these are our spicy techs that actually are pretty hilarious because I was trying to find a level 7 that could evolve on top of green, and I was like, okay, I mean, I could go Quartz, but then I found this in my binder, which is Paladin mode. I saw some Leomon decks running this, and I decided to try it out tonight, and it was honestly pretty insane. It went off. And I mean this, it went off. It was crazy. I managed to bottom deck a Rise Greymon stack. I managed to bottom deck a Mirage stack. Well, not a Mirage stack, but it was like an Arrow Vidramon stack, but it's still really good. I managed to bottom deck a Grace Nova, basically almost setting up, but I basically hit that. It was really strong. For those that don't know what this does, because this card is actually pretty old, it's the secret rare from BT8. So like, I don't know, like 8 sets ago. When digivolving or when attacking, you may return 1 2-color card from this Digimon's Digivolutions to the bottom of its owner's deck to trash all of that Digimon's sources and one of your opponent's Digimon. Then return all of your opponent's Digimon with no sources to the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. And that's both a when digivolving and when attacking. So basically, if you already evolved this on top of one of these, you're basically guaranteed to have also level 5 underneath. So you swing, so you digivolve, you bottom deck the level 5, and then when you attack, you bottom deck the the level 6 to basically do it again, which is really crazy. It also has a alternate clause. This was back before we had alternate clauses, but when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into this card in your hand, you may return one white level 7 Digimon from your trash to reduce this by 4. So it becomes a 3 cost. I didn't actually have this. I think I did have a Merciful Mode, but I didn't notice, so I just paid the 7, or technically I passed them to 6, but it's fine. Um, He's just really all around really strong for this deck. He will be getting replaced though once we get Chaosmon from BT16 because we can basically fuse them together or we can just Digivolve them, so it's pretty strong. Plus, it has barrier, blocker, and all this other crazy stuff. So we're gonna probably switch them out. Then we have one Merciful Mode, the only other white Digimon. This guy's really good. He's really good against decks right now, especially Numamon. This hard hurts Numamon and like Devas. So you really need to have at least a Merciful Mode right now at this moment. He just removes their entire trash. It kills a guy, and then it trashes the security at the start of your turn by trashing itself. So pretty strong. You could potentially, there is a combo that I did think of while I was working on this deck, is that you can go to the versatile mode, pop their board, and then next turn when it trashes itself, you evolve into this for 3 cost instead and bottom deck this. So it's really strong. You can recycle it with this guy, so pretty cool. Yeah, but that's my spicy tech for this. The rest are options and tamers, so actually let's go through them pretty fast. For options, we're running the agility trainings because, of course, you get to search the top 2 at any green card, and it reduces evolution by 2, so it makes these 0, it makes these 1, it makes this 2, makes this one 1, makes this 2, I believe, so pretty strong. Then we run 1 green memory boost. I was going to run 2, but, I wanted to get an alt art, so I was like, I'll just do the 1. I saw this a lot for some reason. Almost every single game I saw it in every single one of my games. Almost either my first hand or my second hand. It was really crazy. I don't know how that kept happening, but this card just like it got me the whole time. It was like, I got you, bro. Then we run 2 giant missiles because giant missile is really strong because you can suspend something, then bottom deck something, and then make sure one of the suspended things can't unsuspend. It is an 8 cost, but if you hit like something like say an ace, it really hurts them, and a lot of people are playing aces now, so this does work pretty well. Then we run 1 hidden potential because this being a green deck, this helps you evo into one of these level 6s or one of your level 7s pretty easily because it specifies it's not when it evolves into a green Digimon, but just when your green Digimon digivolves. So you can potentially make these a little bit less, like make this a 1 cost, make this 0 if you have this in trash. But yeah, you gotta run 1. Then we, of course, run the 1X antibody to basically help Heavy Leo and also Leopardmon X go off, so pretty strong. I like it. It works really well. I do want to add in a 3rd missile, so I will have to figure out what I want to put into this to basically do that. I honestly might just run just 1 Chaosmon instead, but we'll see. I might honestly take out something. I don't know what I will be taking out, but I'll be showing it off later. Then we run 2 Mimis. Mimi is absolutely broken in this deck because once you set up a level 5, you can just tap her, hatch a new egg, and then get ready with a next, basically another stack ready next turn, and you just keep swinging. You keep swinging with Heavy Leo. You stun them with the Boncho. You remove their board with Leopard. You remove the board with both these level 7s, and same with the giant missiles. So you're just kind of controlling the board while basically setting up to OTK for yourself. So pretty strong. This deck keeps going, and it keeps going hard. And I'm honestly really glad that I discovered it, because honestly, I wasn't really going to build this deck back in the day when the set came out, but then when I saw that one dude basically playing at Nats and I got his profile, I just could not, like, basically not play this deck because it was so good. Shout out to Sai still for basically giving me his profile way back at Nats, because now I'm a fan of this deck, and obviously I'm going to have to get a playmat for this guy eventually, so yeah. Anyway, as usual, as I mentioned, this is my own personal build, especially this was specifically for Evo Cup, so I will be changing it up to kind of help with dealing with the meta, because basically BT16 is next week, so I will be changing this deck up a lot to basically adapt to that format. Yeah. But yeah, you can use this and just basically modify it, change your build, all that stuff. But yeah, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys next time in BT16.